And I was like, where are you? Like, you're supposed to be my accountability. And she said, I actually started going to a place called Burn Boot Camp. I'm in love. She's like, you've got to look for it. And so I went to the open house, went to the first camp, and just fell in love so quickly.
Okay.
So I went to University of Buffalo, and I actually have a degree in chemistry. I'm a chemist.
Oh, you are?
So I'm
okay.
a chemist turned trainer. I thought I was fit. It was a conditioning day, and I just about died. And I'm like, all right, at that moment, I was like, this is great. This is what I needed. You know, it was everything all in one.
And once we created that standard, we had a lot of people that were uncomfortable. And we had a lot of people leave.
We sure did. We all have kids, and it's like watching your kid on the bicycle without the training wheels for the first time. You're like, oh my God, you did it, you know?
Right.
Those kinds of things really matter, that I'm a human too. And they see that.
Burn Nation, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Burn Bootcamp podcast. It is your co-host, visionary co-founder of Burn. I'm Devan Kline, and I'm here with some amazing guests. Okay, before I introduce them, they're gonna really walk you through their story. I want you to get to know these two amazing individuals, but you will know that we are on the Proud Tour because we are sitting here right now in Fleming Island, Florida, everybody, for the Proud Tour. This is our 5th stop, franchise partner, Amanda Leonard, her lead trainer, longtime trainer. We got Jen in the building. Jen's gonna break down all things training for us, and I am so excited to be here. This is gonna be a real treat, Burn Nation, for you to get. I know you guys have been loving hearing directly from our franchise partners, and this one is really cool, Jen, because now we get to bring you on from a trainer perspective as well, and I just can't wait. You got the morning was fantastic here. Jen was on the mic at an 8:30 camp. It is bodyweight conditioning, Burn Nation. We know how we feel about bodyweight conditioning. When there's little to no equipment on that floor and you walk in and camp time's 5 minutes away, your heart drops and you're like, oh, what's about to happen here? And Jen took us all the way there. All right. We went all the way down. We wrestled with ourselves. She showed me a couple demons in there as I was trying to get through her camp. And there's about 7 times where I wanted to stop, but she wouldn't let me. And I had to follow up her camp at 9:30. We had, 70 people out for each one of them. Just an amazing morning, amazing energy. The Proud Tour continues. Amanda Leonard, this could not be possible without you. And I wanted to give everyone space to get to know you, your biography, your background, a little history on you, how you got to this point. Jen, I'll let you do the same thing.
Sure.
Talk us through your history and your burn history. I'll give the floor up to you, Amanda. Jen, I'll come to you next. And Burn Nation, we're getting right into the pod. Amanda, first pod ever, by the way,
Yes.
Burn Nation. So give Amanda a big round of applause if you can out there.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you. So yeah, a little bit about my history. I am a Clemson grad. I went to Clemson University, so big Tigers fan.
Can I tell you something? I know I don't mean to interrupt right away, but I want my kids to go to Clemson so bad.
Yes.
I
wear
love
my
it.
ring.
I love it. I want them to go so bad.
Yes.
Okay.
Wear my ring proudly every day. So I went there for business and got a job with a logistics company out of college, worked there for a bit. And then I went to a Fortune 500 company here in Jacksonville, still doing logistics, and got my MBA at Jacksonville University here. Really have been, was in logistics for about 15 years, did a lot of market research, sales and marketing, different things, but never really it wasn't really fulfilled. Like I had kids and I was just in that grind of no time for myself. I had a big corporate job and I had young kids. I have twins and was married and just never had time for myself.
How old were you when you had the twins?
I was 30.
Okay. So this was, you're getting your career started. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Starting a family, all the same things. Okay.
Yeah. And I just was burnt out. Yeah. Like it was just really, really hard. And I was trying to find, I was never a worker outer. Like prior to Burn, like I never worked out consistently.
Okay.
I tried some of the online things and stuff and just never could be consistent with it. And I was in an accountability group with somebody and she's in Tampa, Florida. And she just went dark on me. And I was like, where are you? Like, you're supposed to be my accountability. And she said, I actually started going to a place called Burn Boot Camp, Burn Boot Camp Clearwater. I'm in love. She's like, you've got to look for it. And I said, okay, well, let me look. And there was one that was opening in Ponte Vedra, like 2 months later. And I said, oh my God, I'm signing up. I signed up for the wait list and everything, and was so excited to start. And then 2 weeks before they opened, my husband had a terrible accident. And he had a tib-fib break. He broke his both bones in his leg. He had a labrum tear, and he broke 2 ribs, all on the right side of his body. And I was like, I can't do this. Like, how am I going to do burn? Like, I really wanted to do something for myself. But he convinced me to like still do it. He was in a wheelchair for a while and stuff. So I had to start taking care of him and everything.
And so this is after you've already committed, like you're in, and then that happens. Yeah. And that shakes you a little bit because you're like, well, this isn't going as smooth as I wanted it to.
Yeah. I was already scared because I'd never done anything like that before. And it was like, is this the sign that this isn't the time? But my husband was like, no, you should still try it and stuff. And so I went to the open house, went to the first camp, and just fell in love so quickly. It was awesome. And this was 2020, January of 2020. And I think it was like 2 months. I was laying in bed and I'm like, this is what I want to do with my life. I want to open a burn. And I said, how do I tell my husband this? And so I'm laying in bed and I'm like, hey, hon, do you want to go into business together and we can like open a burn? And he was like, I thought for sure he was just going to shoot me down. He was like, well, look into it. And I was like, okay, I will. And I called Burn the next day.
Yeah, within 30 minutes, you're already got your plane ticket booked. You're already ready to go. Okay.
Yes. So
he must have saw just like how much how much it lit you up and how passionate you were about it.
He immediately saw a difference in me. I became so consistent. I was going 5-6 days a week. I had friends I had never had. Like we'd been in our house for 2 or 3 years, didn't have many people and stuff. And I finally had like a community and I absolutely loved it. And he saw such a big difference in me. And so, yeah, he was so supportive. I was shocked.
Well, that's incredible. And shout out to Jess Melquist, the FP of Ponte Vedra, because, you know, in every area, you always have that pioneer and you're a part of that group too, by the way. But, you know, Jess was first, I believe. And so, you know, like having like the Mike and Andrea Hartshorns in Charlotte and just, you know, just it's cool to see how one location then can give everybody that burn feeling. And then like, you know, you want to make it a bigger part of your life. And you were surprised when your husband said, let's do it. And now you're here. Now you're not just with one location anymore.
3.
Yeah. You got 3.
Yes.
Which that's a lot of responsibility. What's it? And Jen, I'm going to come to you for biography next. What has it been like? You know, kind of going in with saying, "Hey, I'm gonna really jump off the cliff and open one," and now you have 3. I mean, you really did it. Like you went for it all the way.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Jumped in with both feet. No, I have learned so much. I've grown so much as a person, as a leader, as just time management and everything. So. Yeah, it is tough, but it is so rewarding. And today has just been amazing and stuff. But yes, I love what I do. I wake up and I get to do something that means something, whereas my corporate job couldn't provide me with something like that.
Yeah, and it's very obvious when we walk in here that your energy is reflected. You know, and as a leader, our energy is always reflected by those we surround ourselves with. And it's very clear that your locations are doing awesome and healthy and profitable. And you couldn't do that without an amazing team, right? And Jen, you've been here as a part of Burn nearly as long as I have now, and lead trainer here now for 5 years.
At least maybe 6.
6 years. 6 years and 8 years total in the business, correct?
Yep.
So I'd love to hear your story, how you got started. What was your burn moment?
Sure.
Yeah, I'd love it.
Well, I'm originally from New York.
Okay.
So I went to University of Buffalo, and I actually have a degree in chemistry. I'm a chemist.
Oh, you are?
So I'm
okay.
a chemist turned trainer.
Okay, all right. We're cooking up fitness in here. Let's go.
Exactly. So it was quite the pivot, if you will. But, you know, fitness was always been a big part of my life. Before Burn opened here in Fleming, I actually had 6 different gym memberships in the area. And, I think back now, and the reason is because each one of those locations, each one of those gyms just there was missing something, and I was driving from one gym to another, just trying to find what could make a good workout for me. And then one day, I'm on Facebook, and the ad scrolls up for Burn Boot Camp opening in Fleming Island. I'm like, what the heck is this? I'd never heard of it before, I came from a heavy CrossFit background. So I'm like, all right, back then it was doing like the rapid fire 30-day fat loss.
Yes, the 30-day rapid fat loss program. Shout out to anybody that knows what that means.
So I am like old school. This was like back in 2018. I'm like, okay, what can I lose? It's 30 days. Let's try it out. I thought I was fit. It was a conditioning day. And I just about died. And I'm like, all right, at that moment, I was like, this is great. This is what I needed. It was everything all in one. And I mean, right away, signed up a membership. And then shortly thereafter, the lead at the time had asked me if I would be interested in a support role. And I was like, absolutely not. I'm like, I don't want to train. I want to work out, But the more she talked to me about it, I'm like, okay, I was at a crossroad in my life where my son was 15, and I had taken a step back from the corporate world. I was doing corporate chemistry work, I was doing environmental work, and I became a widow at 31. And so I was a single mom, and I, put that on the back burner, my career on the back burner to be home for him. At that point, he was 15, and I said, okay, you're old enough, you can fend for yourself. Maybe it's time for me to get back into the workforce, and not just be mom, maybe be something else for somebody else other than my son. And I took on some of the support role, and then shortly thereafter, the ops role as well. And then the lead trainer role kind of just fell in my lap, and here I am.
Well, you guys both share a couple things in common that I noticed right off the bat. Your energy is all the way up. It's 11 out of 10 energy. I love that. But also I noticed that there's a tragedy in each of your recent history that really shapes who you are. And as much as you can and much as you'd like to, I'm going to ask you to share as much as you would like to about, your husband and the incident that happened, and, as much as you'd like to share, because so many people out there right now go through it and they don't hear people talk about it enough. And I think one thing that the Burn Boot Camp podcast has been really good for people is we are raw and we're vulnerable and we share the things that are tragic in life, because the highs aren't so great if the lows aren't great, which is an unfortunate reality. But everyone has a version of what happened to each of you. And I'd love for you just to walk through that. And how do you think about tragedy in your life? And how does a community like Burn Boot Camp help you through those things? Countless members today, I can't even count, it's well over a dozen, told me the deepest, darkest things that they could tell me today in like 1 minute, because they have, maybe 40 people that want a picture or whatever with me. They have 1 minute to tell me, and they tell me like the lowest of the low.
Yeah.
But it's not to dump the emotional baggage on me, because it isn't there anymore. It's taken care of. It's always going to be a part of them and who they are, but they're strong enough partly because of this place and their own fortitude, that they're able to communicate about tragedy with joy, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, it's still painful, but look at me, look who I am, because I've overcame these things in my life. So an opportunity for you to talk about it, Amanda.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the accident was a freak accident that happened. It was incredibly scary. And my husband it happened middle of December, and he was in the hospital for 7 days. And I wasn't even sure if he would make it home in time for Christmas that year. And I had, my girls were 5 years old, trying to explain to him what's going on, why dad needs to be in a wheelchair now, trying to figure out, I became a caretaker and stuff. And so I had a lot on my plate already with work and with being a mom and everything. And so adding the caretaker to it, it was tough. And I didn't know when I could have time for myself, or if that was even possible. And so Burn was truly my escape. I would go to the 5:30 a.m. camp so that I would get home after and get my husband ready and get the kids ready and stuff. But from 5:30 to 6:15 in the morning, I had 45 minutes and I had people that would high five me and people that just acknowledged me. And I was just me. I didn't have to be anybody else. And it was awesome. And I remember one trainer, there was like 40 people on the floor, and I had finally figured out how to do a push-up. I was doing push-ups, and I was doing a tricep push-up on my toes, and the trainer called out on the mic, "Amanda, I see you on your toes." And I had never felt so seen before in my life. And I was like, I'm getting compliments and I'm getting like acknowledgement for things that I'm doing. And it meant so much to me, and the community that I had there, they really just helped me through it. My husband was in a wheelchair for 2 months, I think, and I had to chaperone him everywhere and stuff. But Burn was my sacred place.
That's incredible.
It was awesome.
That's incredible. Yeah, the feeling of you're getting called out on the mic because you're doing something great.
Yes.
Wow, that just gives us as trainers more credibility when you're not doing something great. Be like, I know you can get on those toes, Amanda. I saw you last week get on the right, Jen.
Yeah, absolutely.
It gives us the ammo too. That's a magical story. That's amazing. Jen, would you like to share some of yours?
Sure. Like my story is a little bit different. So I ended up marrying my high school sweetheart. And I'm a child of the 80s, 70s, 80s. And back then, mental health was not really a huge topic. It was always kind of swept under the rug. And his family was a big Italian family. He just kind of kept everything quiet. Married him, everything was great. But then things got dark quickly. So he was in the Navy, and it just turned into my worst nightmare, truly. So for me, like mental health awareness and domestic violence is a huge part of where my heart comes from here at Burn. And I feel like sometimes just having that knowledge and living through it, when I talk to some of our members at focus meetings, it resonates with me, So, my husband left on his own will, and just at that point, becoming a single mom and a widow all at once, I was like, now what do I do? And again, like I tried to stay working as long as I could, but my son was 3 at the time. Just a really pivotal point in his life that I didn't want him to be the only kid in daycare always, last one, So I quit my job, and then I really dove into fitness again. And finally, when we found Burn, when it came here to Fleming Island, it was like, okay, like just thinking these people are encouraging us, like we're high-fiving. You didn't get that at a lot of the other gyms. You're kind of on your own doing your own thing. And I was like, okay, this is great, and even for 45 minutes, I felt good, and I left feeling, all right, accomplished. That was one good thing that happened today, And so when I did take on the role as a support and then taking on focus meetings, I'm finding that you are actually helping somebody, even if it's just listening to them for the 15 minutes that we get for a focus meeting, you're their rock, and it doesn't, again, we stress this all the time at the end of camps. It doesn't ever have to be nutrition or weight, like we can talk and get to know each other. And I think that's the beauty of what we've done here in our community at Fleming is we've really gotten to know our members, like really gotten to know them. Relationships is retention, honestly, and there was the one thing you had said, this was a couple years ago, actually, one of the summits, you had said, we don't sell memberships, we sell confidence. And I took that and I ran with it, So every time I have a new member on the floor, it's like, okay, let's build up their confidence. Even if they come in, maybe they come in cocky, you don't know, I did. I'm like, I'm fit. I can do this. And I was humbled right after the warm up, So it's like, just building that confidence up and then getting to know them one-on-one, I think is the reason why we have so many OG members from back 2017 still come in, day out,
Yeah, you guys have an incredible founding group. We call them OGs for those of you. If you're an OG, you already know what we mean. But if you're not, then it means you're a founding member of the gym, and we were basically working out in the parking lot before there was even a gym. And that's how Burn got started. Yeah. For people that don't know, $600 in a parking lot is the infamous story. And we didn't have the option to build a a beautiful gym like you guys have here, it took us about 4 years. So that now when we start new locations, there's always a nod to that, right? Like it's about the community, right? Because yes, this place is beautiful. You've done an amazing job. The floor is clean. It's so pretty. It's all the things. But what really matters is the human to human connection. What really matters is you being able to share your story, and relating to other members. And so through these stories, you've obviously you have a very tight knit group here. Maybe you guys could transition into some stories that, like, I met Brooke. Brooke is a member here. I believe Brooke got in a car accident. Motorcycle accident, and her whole left side of her foot is like fused with plates and screws and all of that. And she's such a burn person. She looked at me and she goes, "Hey, I got in a motorcycle accident. I've got 10 plates in my ankle, and look what I can do." And she starts jump roping,
Yeah.
Because apparently a doctor had told her, "Hey, this isn't going to be something that's in your future, this moving around, this jumping around." And she said, because of you guys, because you started this place and because you pour your heart and soul into the four walls of it, she believed in herself because you guys gave her that confidence.
Yeah.
You gave it to her. She probably didn't have it without you. And, to see her give it up for this gym and the community. And she's like, "Just check me out. I'll just do it on one foot." And
she does.
That's the type of attitude, right? There was no excuse mode in her body. There's no sulking or feeling sorry for herself. She just is here doing everything that she can.
Yep.
The cards were dealt.
Yep.
God's plan. She's just making sure to do everything with it. Or is there maybe anybody else that has a quick story like that? That's one that comes to mind, or maybe elaborate on Brooke's story. Any member stories that might stick out to you? Not without isolating all the members. I'm just asking you for one name. I'm sure there's plenty of incredible stories, but anything come to mind?
Yeah, I mean, Brooke's story was just incredible. We were all shocked because she'd been at Burn the day of the accident or the day before, and we're like, we just saw her, and that we got the announcement that she had been in that accident. And I remember I was here when she came for her first focus meeting after the accident. She's like, "I'm coming back next week. I came here for my focus meeting so I can figure out the mods, and I'm coming back." And she was just so intent on getting back here, and it was so incredible how much she persevered. And I was just like, it's only been a couple months. Like, are you sure? And she's like, "The doctor said I could. I'm coming back." And so it was really cool seeing her and just seeing how much she's progressed. And I know she talks all the time about how much Jen has helped her and just been giving her all the mods and making sure she's taken care of in camp and everything.
Yeah.
So
I told her, just keep moving. You just keep moving. And she inspires me every day in camp. Like you're saying, the one-legged jump rope, she'll do push-ups with one leg out, like the things she could do now that she couldn't even do years ago when we first opened the doors. But, she's just built that strength and that, that mental strength to kind of push her through it. She's one of our OGs and we love her.
She was just such a bright spot in the workout today. And every time I said, "I'm going to push you today, Brooke," I said, "If I'm pushing you too hard, let me know." She goes, "Jen's my trainer, don't worry." So she knows what time it is. I'm in your building today, okay? I know who the master is today. So I wanna transition into let's go. Just a general, from a leadership perspective for you. Our podcast is full of people who are members. Some are non-members, but full of people who have they're growth minded is a good way to put it. Nobody here is stagnant. Nobody here is cool with being where they're at. We're happy, but never satisfied. That's a good way to push it. We're always going to go to the next level. You're either at rock bottom and you're like, "DK crew, I'm here, help me. I need your help. I'm reaching out for help and I'm at rock bottom. I have nowhere else to turn." Or usually a pretty high functioning, high performing, high achiever, championship attitude, ready to get to the next level. Everybody in between there, that mediocre, where everyone's maybe content or not wanting to push it, the fixed mindset, those people don't like Burn, because we're going to always challenge you and we're going to expect you to respond to that, right? What I love about your camp is you demanded more out of me than I was willing to demand out of myself.
Yeah.
And I'm somebody who is intrinsically motivated, and still I benefit far more than I would working out on my own, being under your supervision. And I'll start with you, Jen. So what does it mean now to you to have such a large group of people, families, right? Because the members that come here have a family on the other side too, right? And we're responsible in some way, at least that's the way that I think about it, conceptualize it, is we are responsible and even obligated to show this human being how strong they are, how badass they really are, like giving them that encouragement that's free, that they're probably not getting in the four walls of their home. It's our obligation to make sure you get that in folds when you're here and you go home at night and you have your son and you have your family and you have people that you're sharing dinner with and you're sharing memories with. And, you know, when you're responsible for that, and it comes with a lot of emotion and it comes with a lot of mental challenges, physical challenges. How do you process all that responsibility and how do you take care of yourself as a trainer?
Well, you know, it's funny you mentioned that because I actually had a member the other day. She had put together, you know, a compilation of her videos that we take, you know, on the floor. And she's a mom of girls, you know, and she's one that I know I could push constantly on the floor. You know, there's some that you could push, and there's some that are just happy to be here today, you know. But with her, she said, you know what? She goes, my daughter said to me, I want to be strong like you, Mom. And she said, well, I'm strong because of Miss Jen, you know? And to me, I was like, that's what keeps me going, you know? As a trainer, and all my fellow trainers out there know it, they're long days, you know? The alarm clock at 3 comes early, you know? You're training back to back to back, and every camp you train has to be the first camp because these people are seeing it for the first time. So your energy is on, you know, that clock hits and mic is on, it's showtime, you know? And so for them to just eat up the energy that I put out on the floor, and if it pushes them to, you know, get one more rep, you know, or stay in it the entire time, whatever it is, and then to feel accomplished and proud of what they did and to show their kids, for their kids to want to be like them or don't want to be strong like you, that's why I do this, you know. For me, it's still, you know, it's a struggle. Work-life balance is a struggle. I'm not going to lie. I am not very good about taking care of myself. You know, my buddies over there know that. It's been on my to-do list.
They're looking at you like...
They're looking at me. I mean, it's been on my to-do. You know, I know it's a fine line because I do pour everything I have onto this floor for others, to where when I'm home, there's nights that I'm done. I'm tired, you know, because I'm like, all right, you got to get up and do it again the next day. But I think just the fact that knowing that, you know, you're going to help somebody in the morning. You don't know what it is, but you're going to help somebody. And that's, you know, that's what keeps me going.
Yeah. So I hear you saying that it's really that feedback loop, right? It's, and any great trainer isn't in it for any other reason other than that. Thank you. The gratitude is the ultimate payment. And because then it's reinsuring that we're doing what we set out to do. Oh, absolutely. There's days, you know, like I'll train the 5 camps in the morning and I'll question myself. I'll checklist myself and feedback loop. I'm like, okay, was that a good camp? You know, am I making a difference? You know, did I train a good camp? Did I push somebody? You know, and then you hear it like, hey, you killed me. That was great. And I didn't think I could keep going, and I got 2 more reps in. Okay, Jen, you did your good job, you know? That's right. But again, you're right. It's just the simple, you know, thank you sometimes is all I need to hear to know that I'm doing my job. Well, you're a pure soul, and I believe you when you say that because you can't really fake it. And that's, I think, what all great burn trainers have in common. Yeah. We all are here for the impact. And Amanda, it's different from your lens because you know, as a franchise partner, one thing our teammates don't have that we have is the financial and legal burden of having a location and operating it, and you know, and ensuring that, you know, you have an amazing team. You sent me over because I like to do all my homework, right? We've had a conversation. I knew Sybil, and I knew a handful of others. I knew Ashley because I trained her camp at Mandarin. But you have a bunch of new teammates that I haven't really met before. And I know your heart and soul for your team because when you sent over, I asked you to just give me everyone's name and give me a little bit, update me because I want to know everyone when I come in the building. I I don't know everybody, and that's okay. I don't think everyone expects me to like walk in and automatically know everybody, but I want to know when I walk in that door, that building, give me my research. And you did such an amazing job with it. And you didn't just send over your key leaders, you sent over everyone and their story and why they came here, how long they've been here. And it really helped me like get to know people, but it also helped me get to know you, because what is probably acceptable to most people is just, hey, here's a few screenshots and here's like a little description. You are so thorough, and it's because you care so much about your team and you wanted them to feel that interaction with me and for me to be prepared so that they could have a good interaction. And it says a lot about your character, and it's a hard thing being a leader, especially of 3 locations. And so, that same kind of question, but from a different worldview and different perspective, what keeps you going, and how do you continue to pour in not only one gym, but now 3 gyms, and it's got to be you have to be over 1,000 members at this point. So, but it's incredible. It's 1,000 members, like 1,000 families, and they have like a big family, a lot of them that you're affecting a lot of people. How do you make sure that you stay right, and how do you feel about taking on that responsibility?
So like Jen, I struggle with it. We actually started halfway through last year implementing personal rocks to try to really focus on like, hey, we need to do something in our personal lives to try to create some work-life balance and stuff. For me, the team has really helped me be better about it. I will say, hey, look, I'm not real good at not working on the weekends. I'm going to try to not work on the weekend, but if you can help me and not ask me questions on the weekend, that would be great. On Sundays, I try to take Sundays off. And they're really good about it. They'll wait, and they'll wait until Monday to ask me the questions and stuff. So I think me being vulnerable with them to let them know what I need, because I'm not good at holding myself accountable to it. I need some accountability partners, and my team is really great about that. I continue to work on trying to have some time to myself. It's hard. My kids are middle school now, so we got all the hormones and the sass and the extracurriculars and everything. So it's hard to balance it all.
Do the twins have a sibling?
No, I just have the twins.
Just the twins. Okay.
We realized about 6 months after the twins were born that 2 was enough for us.
All right.
Yes,
awesome.
We're good. But yeah, so it's tough to manage the work-life balance, but it's days like today and the messages I get. I got a message from it was a member that said they knew that you were going to be here today, and they also know. So my mother died 2 months ago. And I had posted a story that I was really nervous to come out to Fleming after her death because I always called her on the way home. And she said, the member said, hey, I saw that story, and I know you're driving back from Fleming today, and so I just want you to know that I'm thinking about you. And so those kinds of things really matter, that I'm a human too, and they see that.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And, your mom is very proud. That's for sure.
She would have been so excited about today.
Yeah. Well, she's here.
Yeah.
I can feel her.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. It's an incredible responsibility being a leader. And everyone listening is either a leader of their business or their family or themselves. Everyone's a leader. Leadership is a choice, not a title, right? And you didn't get the lead trainer title, right? And then, just by not earning it.
Right.
It was talk to me about that. Like there's a sense around Burn Nation and a championship culture of there's community and connection and positivity and optimism, but there's also that edge of championship attitude, effort, belief that's coupled with that. So it's almost like that empathetic connection coupled with that demand to be all that you can be, or to self-actualize. And it's that definition of like tough love. And you did that. It was like a display of tough love today where you're like, you're smiling. Devan, that's not it, Devan. That's not it. Yep. You can do better than that. And you're telling me how much you care about me because you won't let me not do it.
Right.
And so leadership in general, we'll stay on this thread for a minute. Leadership in general is about command and about earning the command and not just saying that I'm a leader. Do you guys understand where I'm going? Like there's this difference of leaders that have the title versus leaders that already made the choice long before they got the title. Because leadership is not just the title. Oh, I got the title. Now everybody's got to listen to me. You were already doing that, walking that, talking that, breathing that before it ever happened. You in a corporate career where you're already doing that and you're like, I'm walking, talking, breathing for all this, everyone but myself at this point, right? So you can talk about leadership from that lens. And, you were a trainer before you became a lead trainer.
Right.
Right. And you talked a little bit about that story, but what are your thoughts on society today, earning it versus being handed to you or expecting to get something?
I mean, you could see it, the people who work their way to earn it, and then the ones that are just, it's handed over to them. I think our entire team here, as far as leaders, I think we work really well together. So from my perspective as the lead trainer, not only am I trying to command the floor and pour into our members, I want to be a good lead trainer for Amanda as the franchise partner. Is how can I help you grow this business? I want to be a good co-worker with my ops manager, like what can we do to get people in the door, so I think we all collaborate really well, because I think the one thing we all have in common is the growth of this gym in this location. I hate saying it, but people were in and out the door, wrong people, wrong seats, and I think we're finally at a place where we've got a great team, and we all, share that same core value of what we want out of Fleming Island. So, I think that's where, I think from my perspective as a leader, I try to be there for every branch of, our little, what is that called? Our flow chart, our accountability chart, So, yeah.
I love that. And Amanda, from your perspective, same kind of question.
Yeah. So, I mean, coming from the corporate world, like we had to work our way up. Like I started at the bottom. I was shift work and had to work my way up into leadership and everything. And you have to, that was something I was told all the time in corporate, like you have to do the job before you will get the job. And so that was something that I've had for many years is I got to earn it. I've got to do it. Nothing's ever going to be handed to me. And so that has been something that we do all the time. Like we're always learning. We've implemented BOS started about 3 years ago. Poor Jen, that first meeting we had where we were going over BOS, I had somebody quit the next day. And she has been the one that is stuck from that original meeting, the one that has stuck with me as we've been implementing processes and BOS and everything. And it's been a journey.
Yeah.
It's definitely been a journey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, burn operating system, for everybody that doesn't know what BOS means, it's the burn operating system, and that's like the infrastructure. It's the playbook basically for all of our gyms, and it's the marquee process is called the blue carpet experience. So when you walk into burn, and it was to a T this morning, by the way. Good job, Fleming Island team.
Yes.
I could hear the music in the parking lot. We pulled up in our little, we got a travel van. Me and the crew hit up a travel van. Flint Cone came with us today. You guys know Flint from my IG and Lake Norman in the podcast. So we get in a van. And we pull up. The music's bumping. I'm like, yes. I can hear the music from the parking lot. It gives me a little energy. It's almost like you ever see somebody put out a candle and then they can like light the wax stream and then it relights the candle.
Yeah.
You ever see that?
Yes.
That's what like music in the parking lot is. It's like when I pull in, it like instantly lights me up and pulls me into the gym. Like I'm attracted to that music and it pulls me in. It lets me know I'm alive. It lets me know what's about to happen when I get to inside to Hurricane Jen over here and I'm going to have to actually do a camp with her. and then we walk in and everybody's high-fiving, music's where it's supposed to be, smiles are on, everybody's using each other's names, no members are being left behind. You guys made me feel special. It takes a lot of hard work. It's 3 years you mentioned.
Yes.
Right? And probably at that, maybe you can talk a little bit about that, because at that time you set a standard, right? People hate change. We all know that. But you came in, and we as an organization during that time had to change. COVID happened, and we were successful as an organization. And you know what's bad about being successful? That it masks the weaknesses, that it covers the things that probably need to be fixed in the business. And we both knew this. And so when COVID happened and the gym shut down and we went all virtual, we built the Burn operating system because the infrastructure wasn't where it needed to be for me to be satisfied with the support that you had. And so we spent 2 years building the Burn operating system. And that was like my farewell to the CEO spot. It was like, that was the last thing that I really did as the CEO to set us up. And so you guys did a fantastic job doing that this morning, but it doesn't just happen that way. It is a day in, day out. It's a standard. Talk to me about standard, what it means to you to have a championship culture here at Fleming Island.
Yeah, I mean, Jen talked about it. We've really embraced the Burn operating system. We do all the things with it. We do the accountability charts. We do the checklist. We have the roles and everything. And we live and breathe by our core values every day. And that highlights some of the wrong people that are maybe in the wrong seat. And those are tough conversations, because when you don't have that standard, those people can get by because you don't have a standard that says, hey, we're not going to accept that. And once we created that standard, we had a lot of people that were uncomfortable. And we had a lot of people leave.
We sure did.
I mean, there's only a couple that are still here from that original, when we put that line in the sand and said, hey,
we always say pancakes are diamonds. Where's the diamonds at that are still here? Let's go. And I'm not speaking ill about anybody else, because we hope that they will land on their feet elsewhere. It's not fair either way to have someone that you wouldn't value, and that they don't feel valued.
And it's not saying that they're a bad person or anything.
Yeah.
Like, we're a small business. They may excel in a corporate world or something, but the standard we needed in a small business and running a gym and stuff just didn't align with what they had. And so right people, right seats is something we talk about a lot, and we really look at that. And I tell people all the time, that doesn't mean you're not doing anything wrong. It just means you're not where you're going to excel and where you're going to help the business and stuff. So.
Right. So Jen, how do you think about building a training team then?
Well, I'm going to be honest, building a training team here at Fleming has been tough. And I don't know if it's just our location, but we've always had one of the smaller training teams from the very beginning. From when we opened, we'd always had maybe 3 on a training team. At one point, I think our largest might have been 5. And I was like, ooh, this is great. But, we are in a military town, so it's tough. Like, a lot of the trainers that we've had were from a military family. So then, when their time's up, it's up, and then they've got to go and relocate. But, that's one of the things that I'm really trying to work on is, how to develop a great training team, and that's always going to be one of my rocks, I feel like, because, I don't ever feel like I'm going to master it. It's always changing. Our craft is always changing. And it's like, how can I develop them to be the best, that I can be here, take the mic, and you are good to go, to the standards to what our members are used to, being open for almost 8 years. But, again, just, I don't know if other locations have this trouble, finding trainers. Sometimes they come, and then again, they're just not the right fit for our brand. And, we kind of know that right out the gate, and we just kind of move on to the next one.
Yeah. And as the standard becomes more clear to you guys as part of the leadership team, then that standard becomes more clear with everybody. And that's what we're experiencing at HQ. It's really cool because, we're doing it together. So when you say like the Burn operating system and things like that, that's what we also at HQ, we run on that same thing. And so it's like that standard, that championship culture, that language is shared. And, you know, what that means is that, to me, it's that, you know, you guys are up early, right? You guys are up early. I know what it's like, done 15,000 camps, like being up, it's the opposite of everyone else's schedule.
Yeah.
Right. And so at HQ, if anyone at all complains about like getting up early, I'm like, do you realize what we do for a living?
Right.
Do you know that Jen's up at 3:00 right now in Fleming Island and her butt is on the way to the gym? You better get your butt up. Let's go. And we got to motivate. And so I appreciate you guys because you inspire us. And hopefully it's a two-way street and we inspire you as well. So talk a little bit about the future of Fleming Island 2026. You guys have started off amazing this year so far. Great. We're just finished up winter promo. And yeah, what's in store? What do you got? What's the big plans for 2026 in Fleming Island? What's the theme?
Yeah, so we actually just had annual planning about 2 weeks ago. It was a little delayed for us because of my mother's death, but the team gave me a lot of grace, and we do have a lot of exciting things this year. We've got some nice growth goals. Jen's all in on nutrition and everything. You want to talk about the anniversary and stuff?
Yeah, our biggest thing is coming up. Our anniversary's next month.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so we are 8 years old next month. So really exciting. It's always a fun time here at Fleming. So we've been doing it from the beginning. We do our black light as our anniversary.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's pain because we're all windows. But at the end of the day, I mean, the members love it. It's a great time. So that's something we have to look forward to. Just coming up in a couple of weeks. I know it.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what do you guys you do like one camp, you black light it out?
We do the whole day.
The whole day. Okay.
Yeah.
So
all camps.
Okay. All right. I love that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then last year we did a casino night to celebrate 7 years.
Okay.
So this year, have you not announced
This
it
year,
yet?
we haven't announced it quite yet.
All right, just kidding. We've got something fun.
We got something coming. It has nothing to do with casino night.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay. Anything else on the horizon?
We've got level up games coming up.
Okay.
Up, yeah.
Those are always really fun here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you guys some stuff off air about some plans for. I think the team would like to hear it too.
Oh.
We're trying to make the level up games way better, way big. It's already good, but we're going to make it great.
Yes.
I'll tell you offline. I can't tell everybody. Bird Nation, you know how Morgan is with me. She's the gatekeeper of all secrets, and she's the only one that has the key. And when she gives me the key, I can tell you. Until then, if I tell you, I get in trouble at home, and I like not being in trouble at home. It's better that way. It's better that way.
Totally understand.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a couple more things that we can go over, and then Bird Nation, we'll get you guys out of here. This has been a really great treat being able to pick your brain and talk about burn. So let's talk about training cycles real quick. So you guys have both been around pretty much through. There's really been 3 waves of fitness product. I call it 1.0. Which was like Devan's version where it was a little portal and I'd put up the workout and it was just very high level and would give some ranges. And I don't know, Amanda, if you were a franchise partner that early on. But anyways, then that worked pretty good. But what I wanted to do was incorporate more of the trainers. And so the second version
I started in the second
was
version.
my protocol. And then my call to action was, make this awesome. That was my call. And so then we partnered together to do, but what happened was as we didn't have like a standardized protocol, we had standardized titles. It'd be like leg day was leg day. And I heard this morning, 3 sisters, 3 different states or 3 different locations, same state, 3 different camp times. They bond over being able to call each other and being like, what crazy stuff did you do at 5:30 that I got to look out for at 9:30 and that my other sister's going to look out for at 4:30. And if we don't follow the protocol as a system, then we are robbing members of the relationship that they can have with other members in Burn Nation. So it's not that I gave too much creativity. It's just that the creativity was too much to make it standard. And so what we did is we just said, all right, I'm a trainer. It's like taking Picasso's paintbrush if I can't be creative. So then we said, all right, here's what we're going to do. 90-10. We'll roll it out for space, equipment, weather. You can manipulate anything that you really need to. You did this morning too, 2 or 3 adjustments. And I was like, perfect. That is exactly 90-10. By the time we get to the end of that workout, because you have an individual relationship with all the members anyway, it's not the same workout as any other workout in the country. So you have this element of keeping the paintbrush in your hand and having control of the workout. You don't have this wild, wild west, someone doing like Rocky Balboa sit-ups with dumbbells in their teeth from the pull-up rig,
right?
That's like clearly dangerous,
yeah,
right? And not approved. And, now we're here in like this version 3.0, where I think it's like a give and a take and a much better relationship. And so that's just like the quick synopsis from me. But I wanted to hear, as you guys have gone through these phases, the next phase, I guess, is the mesos, the training cycles. And I think Burn Nation as a whole is now comprised of, like, if you looked at 275,000 person arenas, just to visualize that for me real quick. Two Jacksonville Jaguar stadiums full of people with burn gear on. That's our membership base.
Yeah.
And they're all learning about these training cycles now. So from a trainer, non-trainer perspective, I just wanted you guys to talk to me about what is going well about the new training cycles, what's not going well, anything and everything. Amanda, do you want to start, or Jen, do you want to start?
I was going to let Jen start.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
Well, the one thing, and you kind of see it when we do the promos and you do have brand new people coming on the floor, is it allows them time to really work on the form. And know that we're doing it. This is something you're going to see week by week.
With like the fundamental 24.
Right.
Yep.
And I think that's important, especially there's a lot of people that have come in that are, deconditioned or have never worked out before, or it's been a while. And, the language is new to them, because maybe they've come from somewhere else where they were just using machines. We've gotten great feedback, and that they are finding, through the meso cycles, by the end of it, they are lifting heavier weights. They feel stronger, and it's something that, it's great as a trainer, again, to see them progress and just, somebody who, let's just say, couldn't do push-ups before, and now at the end of the cycle, they're on their toes, so that's a great thing. And, we all have kids, and it's like watching your kid on the bicycle without the training wheels for the first time. You're like, oh my God, you did it,
Right.
I think it's going well.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, you call out somebody for doing push-up on their toes. Next thing you know, they have 3 gyms.
Right.
You know? It goes a long way, doesn't it?
It really does.
It really does, from your perspective.
So from a non-trainer perspective, as a member, I love it because I'm able to see, I setting those long-term goals, those like 250 camps and things, those are great, but I like those short wins too. And that's what I like about the mesocycles is it's 4 weeks. I can progress in 2 exercises. It really makes it small and finite for me, so that I'm able to make progress and then not phone it in on the other exercises, but like I'm focusing on those 2.
100%. We call that reps in reserve, RIR in exercise science, because you don't want to have to PR on everything. That's why we actually went from 3, and I think you caught this, right? We went from 3 PR exercises per training cycle to 2. And then we added that. What do you think about the performance challenge element? Too much, not enough? What do you think about it so far?
I like it.
Okay.
I honestly like it. You start out in the beginning, and then it's like, we throw it in there, during the workouts, and then you test it again at the end. And I think I personally like it. I enjoy it.
Well, we understand that all of you who are into PRs, if you're into PRs, you already know what I'm about to say. There's 12 human movement patterns, 24 fundamental exercises, 2 for each one of those movement patterns. We call it the fundamental 24. And Jen and I are asking you to PR, personal record in each one of those. There'll be 2 of those every 4-week cycle. And then we added that performance challenge, which is supposed to be like a athlete games or level up games-esque type thing. And just to add a little flavor. Yeah, just wondering, what do you think about those so far? Do you like them? Are they working? Is there any buzz, or is it just kind of, it's just camp? It's just another way to switch it up.
I like it. What I don't remember, I have a terrible memory. And so by the time week 4 comes around, I don't remember exactly what I did in week 1 to know if I PR'd. Whereas the other 2 are like, we do them weekly. So I'm able to like remember my reps from the last, or my weight from the last time and stuff. So for me, the first one, it was good. I liked the exercises and stuff. But by the time week 4 rolled around, I was like, I don't know if I did any better or not.
I understand what you're saying 100%. Members have had the same sentiment. And this was all last year as we traveled and went to gyms and asked, what could we do better? And there's a brand new piece of technology coming to the app very soon. And I'm allowed to talk about that, by the way. I have the key for that one.
I wasn't going to mention it because I wasn't sure if we're allowed to.
I know that you know, but I won't. If anyone gets in trouble, it will be me. Okay. I won't. Morgan will not be calling you, Amanda. I promise. But my plan is coming soon, and my plan is essentially digitizing focus meetings. And like, you're so right. Who the heck remembers their PR in January from last year, right? Like, this is a progressive overload. So that means every training cycle, you're going to look back. Where'd you start with in the last time we did this fundamental 24 exercise? Where are you at now? And it'll be that real-time, like, modular log. It's going to bring in all your Apple Health Kit, Google Health Kit, all your steps, all your heart rate, all your HRV, all the things that you want. It's going to marry that together with PRs.
So excited.
Yeah, performance challenges, our KPIs, right? Our biometrics. Not that that's super important to everyone. It's important to some people. And so we're going to be able to pull all these things in, and Jen, you'll be able to sit down with a member and literally choose from, like, not an infinite amount of options, but you know, one cool thing is, like, people are going to be able to choose their streaks now. So if I'm somebody that is coming 3 times a week and I'm a diehard 3-time-a-weeker, unless I change that with Jen, or unless I change that manually on my own, like, I'm going to come 4 times a week now. The keep moving club, the streaks right now is 6 days a week, come every day.
Yeah. I
want to meet members where they are, and I don't want people to feel like a failure for not coming 6 days a week, when coming 3 days a week is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You're going to get a little bit, you'll get better results coming 4, 5, 6 days a week, but maybe you supplement and you go run. Well, let's pull that run in too. And let's map the run against the PRs. And let's show you that when you do PRs and you're running, that it makes things better all around. So it's like a real user interface more so than anything to allow members to keep track of their plan that they set up, and they'll be in association with, like, 4 to 6 week little windows.
I love that, because I don't remember if you remember this. One of my rocks, I was like, how can we implement this?
Yes.
And it was just, could not wrap my head around it. Like, I was like, how can we help these members track what they're doing on some of the basic movements, you know?
Right.
And then we were just like, okay, we can't do it this way. You know, the hard copy with the paper is too much. So I'm excited for this.
Yeah, the way we've done it traditionally, I'm sure you guys do something similar, is we just have, like, a card Rolodex up on the front desk, and like it's 1987 or whatever. And people go over there, like, pull their Rolodex out of their card, flip to their eye, write it down. It's all going to be digitized, which will be really cool. And there'll also be, like, a big loyalty rewards program that becomes a part of this, because I want members who have been here forever, who already have enabled healthy behaviors for themselves. I want to reward people for healthy behavior.
I love it.
Like, when you come to a camp, I want you to, now, I'm not going to say get paid for that. Let's call them burn bucks for now.
Okay.
I want you to earn some burn bucks. You know, I want you to earn something because you were doing things that were healthy for you.
Yeah.
How often, and you've heard this, like, how often is it, I need to lose weight. Somebody told me I have to stop, or I can't, or I won't, or if I don't do this, then this will happen. It's like all that negative connotation. We want to get rid of that. We want to associate fitness, this hard thing, to, like, something positive. Look what you get to do. And when you get to do this, look what you get for that type of deal. So I'm going to ask you guys one more question. I just wanted to give the audience a little nugget while I was talking to you guys, since we were on that topic. I want to give each of you the mic, the floor, for one more address to the audience. People have goals, right? Whether it's fitness, business, parenting, and we have fear of those goals. What would happen if? So I want, Amanda, I'll start with you. Burn Nation is right over there in Camera B.
Okay.
And I just want from your heart, talk to Burn Nation. If you had 2 football stadiums full of people, what would you say to them if they were in person? If you had a couple minutes.
Goals are hard. Systems work. So my team knows I love systems. I love processes. And so what I will say is like, break that goal into smaller parts. That makes it so much more manageable, because a big goal can be so overwhelming and you don't know where to start. Start with the first step. We talk all the time that walking in the door is the hardest part. Taking that first step towards your goal is literally the hardest part. Every other part from there, you will start to build that momentum and you will start to realize that goal so much faster than you thought you could. So taking that first step, walking in that door, reading that book, whatever it is to get to that goal, that first step is the most critical.
Jen.
I tend to say this to a lot of my members for the focus meetings. Goals are important. For me, what I tell them is, set a long-term goal, something that you're trying to hit in a year, and then short-term goals, something that's like a month, maybe even 3 months, something that you can break down and not feel defeated. I feel like sometimes when we tell our members at the end of camps, set your goals. I mean, yeah, dream big, absolutely, 100%. But then, some people feel overwhelmed and then they don't continue on and now they feel defeated. So the short-term goals, where you could just break them up and then feel like you've done something and you've accomplished it, I think is the key way to work it in your life, no matter if it's fitness or home life, whatever it is.
All right, Burn Nation. Well, you have heard it here right from Fleming Island. Amanda, Jen, thank you so much for spending some time with us here on the pod and allowing HQ to come into beautiful Fleming Island to the team. You guys are so amazing. It's been obvious and clear how much you care, how well you all lead. And I know that because you don't have to tell me, your members will do it for you. They love you guys. They truly love you guys. And I wish you could be a little like fly in the wall as they're telling me all these stories, the highs and the lows. I was practically crying the whole time. It's just a really beautiful thing that you've created here. I know some days, Amanda, are harder than others, and being an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart. It's extremely stressful from time to time, but also can be extremely rewarding. And you, my friend, have fought so hard to be where you're at today, and to watch you grow and to us to grow together has been really, really cool. And it's been a joy of my life to do this with you. Thank you.
Thanks, Devin.
All right, Burn Nation, make sure you're subscribing on YouTube. We got 2 episodes every single week. We know you like to binge watch the podcast. I got another episode for you right here. Don't go anywhere. Keep binge watching on YouTube. That's where we want you to be. 2 claps on 2. Keep moving, everybody. 1, 2.